This is the Insta360 X4. I'm not even sure where to begin.
Now, conveniently, I just got a new car last week, so I thought, while the paint is still fresh and it doesn't smell like a hockey bag, what a perfect way to test out the Insta360 X4 and the 8K footage.
8K. Yeah. Now some of you might be thinking 8K sounds like overkill. What could you possibly need that much resolution for, especially when most of us are watching videos on small phone screens? And I hear ya. But the reason 8K on a 360 camera in particular is such a big deal is because it gives us that much more flexibility when we're reframing shots.
Now we've got a triple suction cup mount here, so this is gonna stay nice and secured. Shouldn't have anything to worry about. Now this should give us that really cool sort of GTA look when we're driving around, so let's test it out and see how it looks.
The ability to reframe shots in post is already my favorite feature when it comes to 360 cameras, and now that we've got 8K footage to go with it, it makes an already great feature even better.
We're gonna put this guy right on the hood. Nice, that should work. Let's hit record. It's so much more terrifying when you can see it. When it's on the back of the car, it's out of sight, out of mind. When it's on the front, you're staring right at it, you're like, uh-oh.
One minute we could be looking at the road or the scenery, and then the next we're looking at the car from all different angles, and the quality is just so good. Now, apart from reframing, there are all kinds of ways you can tweak your clips and give them a unique style. In the Insta360 Studio, we have this feature called Motion ND, which essentially adds motion blur to your clips that have movement. You can see in this quick comparison how the Motion ND setting can actually make a shot look a lot smoother and more natural. A great touch, especially for something like car footage. Now, in addition to the Motion ND, I also like to add some focal blur to the edges of my shots so we know where the emphasis of the shot is. The X4 does an excellent job of keeping everything in focus, but sometimes I like a bit more of a stylized look and bring the emphasis to the center of the frame. Now, if you're familiar with Insta360 cameras, you know that they come with some color profile options. I like to use the flat setting to retain as much detail as possible, and then optional in post-production, you can spice up your footage with a color grade like I did here.
So the idea is to get the speedometer to go up as I push the camera through. What's funny about that? Let's see if that looked like anything. All right, I saw a puddle back there, and I would be doing myself a disservice if we didn't test out the slow motion going through the puddle. So we're gonna do that. So this is how our angle is looking like, but in 8K, we can only go up to 30 frames per second. If we go over to 5.7K, we can go up to 60, and then in 4K, we can go up to 100. Let's do the 5.7K at 60 frames per second. And of course, we're still in the flat color profile. Let's hit record and see how this goes.
These higher frame rates look incredible, especially for things like action shots and sports, so lots of options to choose from depending on what you're filming. Now, resolution and frame rates wouldn't matter if the footage wasn't smooth. Insta360 is back at it with their flow state stabilization. Without it, video footage, especially at high speeds, can look pretty shaky, but with the click of a button, we get insanely smooth footage you would think were only possible with a gimbal. A couple more new things about the X4. It is slightly larger than the previous X3, which means bigger screen, which we like. And this also means a larger battery, 67% longer runtime, which we definitely love. Also new are the optional lens guards. Sometimes you're putting your 360 camera in places that are a little bit risky, so having the option to protect your glass just makes sense. The X4 is also waterproof up to 10 meters. You saw me take it through that puddle, no concerns whatsoever. I also tested out the X4 when it was very rainy outside, and of course, no issues there either. When you use the X4 with an invisible selfie stick, it will automatically remove it from your shots. And while this isn't actually a new feature, it still just blows my mind every time. I don't understand how it's possible, but it makes your videos look so much cleaner. You can see in all these shots where the X4 is mounted to the car, the selfie stick is completely invisible. Now, of course, that triple suction cup mount that I was using to attach the selfie stick to the car is pretty big and is going to show up in the footage. But if you wanted to go the extra mile and remove that suction cup in post, you can do so pretty easily, as I did here.
I want to get a shot directly next to the wheel because I have an idea where the wheel's turning, and then the camera kind of turns with it. That looks pretty good. So what we're trying to do here is line up the camera more or less with the center of the wheel. That way when the wheel's rolling, we're in the middle, and we can do some cool things with keyframes to get a neat looking effect.
And I almost forgot, the first 50 people to purchase the X4 using the link in the description below will get a free selfie stick with their purchase, so make sure you do that while it is still available. And of course, thank you to Insta360 for sponsoring this video. But that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you click like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at daniel.schiffer, and I will see you in the next video.